Hey friends, I know it's spring break and I'm on vacation, but like I said, I have some words that I really want to share with you all, some things that I have been thinking about. So I wanted to pop on today for some of your time to chat with you. Gosh, there's a lot of things that we don't know right now, right? There are a lot of unknowns swirling around in the world, in our minds, in our hearts, with our lives. And that can be really confusing. That can be really scary. That can cause us to have all kinds of emotions that maybe we can't even recognize or identify. And I want you to know that that's okay. And I want you to know that even if you're having feelings that you don't recognize, and you're trying to hide them, and you're trying to mask them, that you don't have to, that it's okay to experience that, because you are not alone. The adults around you, the leadership of all kinds of churches and schools and government, they're all having those same emotions too. So it's okay to name it, and it's okay to claim it as yours. But I do want to give you some scripture to maybe help you with that, especially if you know that you're feeling something, but you just can't put your mind on it and you can't put your words on it. And this scripture is from Psalm 139, verse 23. And it says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Search me, O God, and know my heart." And I just think that is a really great verse to just center us and focus us, and something that maybe we can even use to pray. Search me, O God, and know my heart. So really what I want to focus on today are those things that we do know, all right? I don't want to focus on the unknowns, but what we do know. So what we do know is that this week is spring break. We also know that it is likely that this is not the way you envisioned spending your spring break. And I am so sorry. And that's really tough. We also know that next week there is no school. The governor has closed all schools in the state of Illinois through the end of the month. And with no school, that means that we will not be resuming youth activities next week either. We also know that the CDC is recommending that groups larger than 50 not meet for 8 weeks, and that our bishop of the Illinois Great Rivers Conference is recommending that groups over 10 also not meet to the end of the month. So that also includes worship. And that's all we know. We don't know how long this will be, but we are preparing that it could be longer, but we really don't know. And we're trying to focus on what we do know. So what we do know is that we worship a God who is bigger than any virus that tries to separate us. We do know also that we worship a God who is way bigger than any fears that we might be having. And I want to give you a song to look up on YouTube later if you would like. It's really been one that I keep going back to and have found kind of like that scripture, some center and some focus and some peace. And the song is called Standing in Your Love. Okay? Standing in Your Love. Check it out if you are wanting some additional help, just kind of focusing and finding some peace. Also, what we know as people who love Jesus, Jesus gave this great commandment for us to love God and to love others. And one way right now that we can love others is to practice this extreme social distancing that has been requested of us. It's important for us to all do our part to try to flatten the curve so that this virus does not take over, right? So loving our neighbor, as hard as it is to distance ourselves from our friends and from our activities, loving our neighbor means putting some of that on hold and thinking of other ways that we can connect where we're not face to face and when we're not out in public unnecessarily. And the other part of the Great Commandment, right, is to love God with all our heart, soul, mind, strength. So I also know, and you know, that for the past several months that you have had really busy schedules. Gosh, maybe for the last however several years, right? Our schedules have been really full. And what I know now is that this is kind of like pushing us into a Sabbath from busyness. A new way to look at it, right? That maybe this is an opportunity for us to just push pause and to be still and to be with God and to take this as an opportunity when our schedules are completely free and open to get to know the voice of our shepherd better. That when this is over, we come out on the other side closer to God and knowing God's voice and knowing God's call for us a little bit better. So next week, next Wednesday, for those who are connected to the Grow community and those of you who are connected to FCA, next Wednesday, instead of us meeting face to face, I am going to have something for us to do that's kind of fun. I will give more details on that next week, but I think by next Wednesday, we are going to be ready for a little bit of fun, right? So be watching for details and information about what that is going to look like for next Wednesday, probably late afternoon, evening time is when that's going to happen, but I will be giving details earlier in the week, okay? Next week, I will also be more visible. All right. And I want to be more visible and to share some encouragement. And right now I'm praying and I'm thinking and I'm in my head a lot, even though I'm on vacation, of how I can serve you in this new way. But, okay, hear this. If you need to talk, if you need to vent, if you need to connect, please reach out. Okay. Please. Don't think, oh, she's on vacation, I don't want to bother her. Nope. Reach out. All right. Like I said, this is weird times, and I'm here for you. All right. If you need something, or even if we just want to pray, or you want me to flip you music to listen to or scriptures to read, do so. All right. The other thing that I know is that we might have to think about what our spring is going to look like for being together. It might be different, all right? I know, so what I know is that our spring might be different. I don't know it for sure, but I know that it might be. And I am going to be looking for ways and learning and teaching myself ways that we can still connect. Because just because we can't be face to face does not mean that we are going to stop being community, that we're going to stop being church, all right? We do not need a specific time and place to be the church. We can be the church still in this time, and that is so needed right now and so important. We can still be the church without the building, and we are going to work together to figure that out, okay? So be watching for how that works. I also know that God is still good. I also know that God is with us in this. I know that God is giving us strength. I know that God is giving us patience. I know that God will continue to give us strength. And I have one verse that I want to share with you before I say goodbye. Thank you for taking these quick 10 minutes to be with me. So Isaiah 41, verse 10 says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be afraid, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my victorious right hand." I love you. I will see you more next week. But remember, if you need anything this week, okay, don't hesitate to reach out. All right? All right. Peace.